All right, I had to get Matthew Hurtt while I was here. It just was my mission from God, and we were here at the ballpark. And so Matthew is here with the Virginia delegation. He was on the show before, so y'all know him. Bright shining star from MTSU, and just kind of, you were here. This is your third convention.
Correct.
This year you got to kind of go behind the scenes in advance. What was that like?
So at every Republican National Convention, the week before, the Platform Committee, the Rules Committee, and the Contest Committee meet to do the business of the convention, which was ultimately approved on Monday during the first session between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. And so, some of your viewers may have seen the platform drama. The president put forth a platform, or Donald Trump put forth a platform. It's not the same kind of process that activists normally navigate through. What are the issues? Are we working on life? Are we working on guns? Are we working on taxes? And Donald Trump said, I've got a platform, and the platform committee approved it. Later in the week, the Rules Committee met, and the Rules Committee, the Standing Committee on Rules, negotiates the rules for 4 years, 3.5 years. And then at the convention, they pass a rules package that governs the convention. And there were no changes to that, no significant changes to that. And then the contest committee, the big story of the contest was the Missouri delegation. So, which was exciting to see. After sort of the setbacks in platform and in rules, the Missouri delegation, which was duly elected by their convention and then thrown out by the state party or the powers that be, they ultimately contested that, and it goes before the contest committee, and they won. And so the grassroots Trump supporters from Missouri are on the convention floor. So I got into I got into Milwaukee 9 days ago. So it's been I could almost change my voter registration by now. And it's great. This is an excellent opportunity. It's a 4-day pep rally for supporters of the president, for Donald Trump. Of course, we're going to hear from J.D. Vance tonight. We're going to hear from Donald Trump tomorrow. We've heard from a host of great speakers, folks from all over the country. And here at the Southern States Fest, we heard from Governor Bill Lee and other Southern dignitaries. Of course, Marsha Blackburn, Senator Blackburn, was chair of the Platform Committee. And that was my first federal campaign. In summer '07, I volunteered for Marsha in her Brentwood office, and I've just had a blast. This is a great opportunity for people to get together from all over the country. Of course, I'm in Virginia now, but I still have a lot of friends in the Tennessee delegation. I saw Beth Campbell, the committee woman. I saw Oscar Brock, the committee man. I've seen Scott Golden, a dozen times, and there's a lot of awesome stuff that happens here, a lot of fellowship and networking. And we'll leave here at the end of the week fired up and ready to elect Donald Trump.
Amen to that. Any breakouts? Were you surprised about J.D. Vance?
He was on the short list, and it's so funny. On Monday, there was some quote that was like, "It'll be somebody you don't expect," but he was on the short list. He is, if you haven't seen Hillbilly Elegy, of course, the book that he wrote, and then they turned it into I think it's on Netflix. Ron Howard directed it, so it's a pretty serious movie. And I think more people, when they see J.D. Vance's story, every one of us, if you're watching this, you know somebody who has had a problem with addiction. You know somebody whose credit card was declined at the restaurant or the grocery store. You know somebody who wasn't sure if they were going to make the mortgage. And J.D. Vance's life story is that story, the American story. And it's a story across Appalachia, but it's a story across the country. And under Biden's economy, more Americans have less money in their pocket. And I think that J.D. Vance is going to be able to speak to that. I think he's a great addition to the ticket. And I think that, and also, for those who were with Donald Trump when he came down the escalator, J.D. Vance was not. He was not with Donald Trump when he came down the escalator. And I think that shows what we saw on Monday night in J.D. Vance's story is people who've come along and said, you know what, these America First policies are important. They make America prosperous. They make America safe. And many, many millions of Americans have the same story that said, I was a little skeptical about Donald Trump at first, but he's the guy, and he'll get it done. And I think that J.D. Vance has that story.
Well, he's a young person, and I know you spend a lot of time training young people to be the next generation of leaders. Do you think that's significant?
J.D. Vance, so I got a text from a historian earlier this week. In 1952, when Eisenhower put Nixon on the ticket, Nixon was 39 years old. So the last time we had a 39-year-old on the ticket was 1952, I do think that he can tap into that energy, that excitement, that enthusiasm of young people. Most people think, and I went to MTSU for 4 years, most people think that young people are liberal. Most young people are apathetic, and if they're engaged on the issues, they will join us. They'll be conservative, and once you get them to vote Republican the first time, they'll do it for a long time. So we have a tremendous opportunity. He's young. I also think he's the first person on a ticket to have a beard since the late 1800s. So I can't grow one of those. I'm sorry, but he's the first guy, and his wife is she's of Indian descent, South Asian descent, born in San Diego, born in California. But that's also a story that many people know. The American experience. We know for a fact that people who come here legally are, and they go through the process. 66% of American small businesses are started by immigrants, usually first generation, and it's people who understand the importance of faith, the importance of family, and the importance of economic opportunity and educational opportunity. So I think we'll really speak to those issues tonight when J.D. Vance takes the stage, but also throughout this campaign.
Well, yesterday, I don't know, it kind of surprised me. All of the past runners for the president came together and had a message of unity. That felt real good. Do you think that the assassination attempt had something to do with that?
We haven't seen a wide open primary since 2016, and there were 16 candidates, 16 Republicans who ran, and but with Nikki Haley, with Ron DeSantis, both successful in their own right. Now, I'm not from the Nikki Haley wing of the party, but I am from the Ron DeSantis wing of the party, and I think that all of those individuals, Vivek Ramaswamy gave a great speech, and all of them coming together, it really solidifies a unified Republican Party against Joe Biden, who even, Eric Schlelick from Associated Press, who's from Nashville, he quoted a guy from Saudi Daisy who said, I've been a Democrat a long time, and I don't think Joe Biden should be president today. So there's a tremendous opportunity for the party is united, and we're going to come united out of this convention. And I think millions of Americans are going to say, I wasn't sure about Donald Trump, but my dollar goes not as far. It costs more to fill up the tank. It costs more to get groceries. And anybody feeding a family of 4 or more is paying, $200, $300, $400 more per month in groceries. And this is an election where security, safety, and economic prosperity are on the ballot.
It's on the ballot. Any breakout stars for you? Anybody that just kind of wowed you?
I'm going to get in trouble with your friends in Montego. I think the young woman on Monday night, Amber, tells us if you don't know her extracurricular activities, which you can make up your own mind about, but she said, I'm a mom. My dad told me to Google Donald Trump. She said, I heard Donald Trump was racist in Texas. She said, but I started Googling, and I went to a rally, and everybody welcomed me, and that is really what I found at America First rallies and this convention is it's a party that is welcoming to anybody. And my sister's great. She's not political at all. She's not that political. And in the 2016 election, about a month before, she said, how do I vote against Hillary Clinton? And I think about the young women like that who have not thought about politics, but they're trying to raise a family. And those women, there's a message for young women across the country that is economic prosperity. We want you to be able to achieve the American dream, and the Republican Party is the only party that can help you do that. And Joe Biden's America is an American nightmare, and that is it's a hard truth. And millions of Americans are feeling it, and I think we got a positive message coming out of this convention.
Well, looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll hook up again, but thank you so much for sharing your time. We don't want to miss the bus.
Oh, yeah, got to get on the bus.
Thanks, Matthew.
See ya.